Hello, I'm Esther Githo-Yuot. It's Friday, October 28th. This is Africa 54.
Nigeria declares a cholera crisis in its northeastern Borno state, with an outbreak of more than 5,000 cases and scores of deaths. Elon Musk takes over Twitter and takes a broom to the executive suite ahead of expected big staff layoffs. In our 10th Spotlight feature on the Africa Digital Innovation Competition for African Startups, Kenya's Felix Macharia's Kotani Pay has an app that helps everyone from small business owners needing loans to getting weather insurance to farmers.
Nigeria is declaring a cholera outbreak in the northeastern state of Borno. An estimated 1 million people are at risk of catching the illness, with those in camps for the displaced at high risk. Louisa Knox reports.
First floods and conflict took their homes. Now displaced Nigerians are facing another struggle, an outbreak of cholera. Yagana Mohammed's son, 17-year-old Ali, was rushed to a treatment center run by Médecins Sans Frontières after falling ill.
I got very scared. We started running to the hospital and they brought us here. When we arrived here, the doctors ran to come check on us. They surrounded us.
An outbreak was declared in the northeastern state of Borno in September after cases were found in 7 local government areas. The rapid spread appears to be linked to months of unusually heavy rains that caused floods across much of Nigeria. By October the 5th, the United Nations said more than 5,000 cases of cholera had been recorded in Borno, including 178 deaths. Augusta Chinenye Obadoefuna is a nurse and manager of the treatment centre run by Médecins Sans Frontières, which is located in Maiduguri. She says this year has been particularly hard.
Compared to other years, this has been the biggest outbreak compared to other years. Last year we had an outbreak, but the number of cases which we've treated within 2 months was actually the number of cases which we saw in 4 to 5 months. So following the comparison, this year has been the biggest number of outbreaks we've experienced.
Aid workers say large puddles of stagnant water in Maiduguri have accelerated the bacteria's spread and made it difficult to contain. An estimated 1 million people are at risk of catching the intestinal illness. It is commonly spread via contaminated water and food, and if untreated, it can lead to dehydration and death. Cholera outbreaks are not uncommon in Borno. It is the epicenter of an ongoing Islamist insurgency that has displaced thousands into camps, straining sanitation facilities and drinking water sources. But relatives of patients like Mbade Ajit say more needs to be done to combat the disease.
I want a team to go around the communities and disinfect the areas. It is dangerous.
That was Louisa Knox of Reuters reporting. Nigeria's police force says it is beefing up security as the U.S. orders diplomats' families to leave Abuja due to a heightened risk of terrorist attacks. The details of any threat are unknown, but residents of the Federal Capital Territory are on high alert after several Western embassies changed their travel advisories, citing an elevated risk, particularly in Abuja. Timothy Obiezu explains.
At least 5 foreign missions in Nigeria have so far issued the terror alert to their countrymen since the U.S. first gave a warning on Sunday. The UK, Germany, Ireland, Canada and Australia have all cautioned their citizens to avoid non-essential travels to Nigeria, especially the capital. They say there is an elevated risk of terror attacks on government buildings, places of worship, schools, markets, shopping malls, and other parts of the city. This comes 3 months after ISIS affiliate, the Islamic State West Africa province, claimed responsibility for a jailbreak that freed hundreds of dangerous prisoners. Many of them remain at large, including more than 60 high-profile terror suspects. On Thursday, the U.S. Department of State ordered family members of the U.S. employees to leave the city. The warnings by the embassies have stirred concerns among residents.
Our major concern now is to keep absent from all those places who know they are crowded to avoid attacks, because it's just very possible that if they are coming to attack, they will crowded areas.
I think again it's a big slap to the federal government to allow different country to be the one to, I think, to remind them on the issue of insecurity and what is about to happen.
Nigerian authorities insist the country is safe and are urging citizens to carry out their normal activities. Authorities also promised security operatives are alert to respond to any distress call. I observed that many streets were unusually quiet. Some shopping centers are also closed.
I'm a businesswoman. I own a shop in one of the shops here. Ever since we got the security allotment, I have not been going to the shop, honestly. And it has so disturbed in the situation whereby it has affected everything, both business, movement, career. In fact, let me be honest, I didn't even go to church on Sunday.
Concerns of terror attacks have been growing in Nigeria, where militant groups have been trying to expand their operations beyond known bases where they have been active for years. In June, authorities blamed Islamic State West Africa province for a church attack in southwest Nigeria that killed 40 worshippers. It is the first attack to be blamed on the group in southwest Nigeria. Timothy Obiezu for VOA News, Abuja, Nigeria.
Amnesty International human rights researcher for Ethiopia and Eritrea, Fiseha Tekle, says while there's optimism that the parties involved in the ongoing Ethiopia peace talks say they are committed to achieving peace, human rights violations in Ethiopia must stop. Earlier, I spoke with Tekle and he said all parties involved have to remember human rights violations committed during this conflict may amount to crimes against humanity.
The conflict started 2 years back when the TPLF forces attacked the Federal Defense Force bases in Tigray during the night, and that was followed by conflict. So this immediately after the beginning of this conflict, what we have witnessed is serious human rights violations, which might amount to crimes against humanity and war crimes. Actually, the human rights impact, or the devastating impact of the conflict on human rights, started within days. According to some of the testimonies we spoke to, including survivors, they were raped 2 or 3 days after the conflict had started. And it continued throughout the conflict. And it continued in many parts of Tigray and Amhara and Afar. The first instance of mass atrocities which we have documented happened in less than a week after the conflict had started. In Maikadra, hundreds were killed in a very small farming town. We are seeing indications that the same thing is happening. For instance, in September this year, the Eritrean Defense Force members killed about 46 people, according to the humanitarian sources who have shared their information with us. And also the indiscriminate shelling, the aerial bombing that is affecting and killing civilians has also continued.
What's the overall impact of this war on the entire country?
Well, this conflict has different impacts on different people in different parts of the country. The main people who are directly affected by the people are in Tigray and Afar and Amhara regions. Because when the TPLF forces, the Tigrayan forces controlled the parts of Amhara last year in 2021, the They also did the same kind of human rights violations, including mass extrajudicial executions, rape and other forms of sexual violence against the Amara residents in those areas they have occupied. But in addition to that, the humanitarian impact of the conflict is also serious because since the conflict has started, humanitarian aid was not freely flowing to Tigray mainly, exposing millions of people to starvation and health crisis. In addition to that, millions of students, high school, elementary school students, are mainly out of the education now. And the health impact is also serious because hospitals in Tigray have run out of medical supplies, and they don't have anything to serve their patients. Vaccines are not provided on time. Those WHO mandated vaccines are not being administered as per the standard. This is what is happening in Tigray and other areas are directly affected by the conflict. But in other areas, for instance, in Oromia, there is a little known conflict which has been there since 2018, 2019. And that conflict in Oromia has worsened and worsened. And now in August and September, we have received credible allegations that civilians are being targeted by the warring parties in Oromia, especially Western Oromia. So the impact is nationwide and it is affecting different people in different ways.
That was Fiseha Tekle, Amnesty International researcher for Ethiopia and Eritrea. Multi-billionaire Elon Musk is Twitter's new owner. He finalized the purchase of the company on Thursday, and then he fired many of social media platforms' top executives. VOA's Paul Ndiho has the details.
After months of delays, Elon Musk has completed his $44 billion takeover of Twitter, posting a celebrated tweet, "The bird is freed." One of his first moves was to sack a handful of top executives at the social media giant, according to sources. Those purged include the chief executive officer, the chief financial officer, and the legal affairs and policy chief. Musk has previously accused them of misleading him about the number of fake accounts on the platform. Twitter's approximately 7,500 other employees may now be worrying about their future, as Musk has previously said he plans to cut jobs while building a so-called super app. It would offer everything from money transfers to shopping and ride-hailing. In the immediate future, Musk says he wants to get rid of the spam bots on the platform, make the algorithms that determine how content is presented publicly available, and to prevent the platform from becoming an echo chamber for hate and division. He is also considering reversing a ban on former US President Donald Trump. Musk, one of the world's richest men, says he did not buy Twitter to make more money, but rather to help humanity, which he says he loves. Al Gore and Siegel were in the Twitter's San Francisco headquarters when the deal was closed and were escorted out of the building, according to sources. Twitter, Musk, and the chief executives did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Paul Ndiho, VOA News, Washington.
George Miracle Duka, the Ghanaian Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, says the government is implementing new measures to combat illegal gold mining. The move, he says, forms part of the effort to prevent the destruction of water bodies and the environment caused by the activity. VOA's Peter Clotty spoke to Duka about efforts to create value-added or enhanced products from the country's natural resources, including with the construction of a refinery.
Yes, indeed, Ghanaians are expressing concerns about how illegal mining is consuming part of our mining regions, and it's also a concern to His Excellency the President of the Republic. And there are a gamut of measures we've put in place to ensure that we clamp down recalcitrants who have taken it upon themselves to destroy our river bodies and that of our forest zones. These measures, I must say, have gone a long way in making sure that we regularize the small-scale mining sector.
Now, Mr. Duka, as the deputy minister in charge of handling this issue, specifically, what are you doing to regularize the small-scale mining sector?
Yes, it is important for us as a ministry, and for that matter, as a deputy minister responsible for mining, to ensure that we leave a legacy that Ghanaians will be proud of in terms of regularizing the small-scale mining sector. And these are some of the measures we've put in place, making sure that we move all the illegal miners from where they are to a regularized section. And that is what we have termed as community mining. So we have a database from the Minerals Commission, and that database is worked in collaboration with Ghana Geological Survey Authority. So they determine where or a mineralized area. Then government supports this mineralized area with mining equipment. We get mining engineers from University of Mines and Technology, geologists, minerals engineer to assist that concession. The idea is to, in a way, have a kind of an equally important earning in terms of wages for these miners. Because if you're talking of alternative livelihood and you don't provide something that they would appreciate, take my word, they will come back. So if they're interested in mining, why don't you create an enabling environment by creating another concession for them to mine and earn something appreciable?
That was VOS Peter Clotty speaking with George Mireku Duka, the Ghanaian Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Still to come, Kenya's Felix Macharia tells us about his new creation startup, Kotani Pay. Stay with us.
African and Black diaspora film festivals are held worldwide all year round. These events highlight the excellence of African cinema and Black talent. On this week's episode of Our Voices, we will review the rise of Black cinema. We will also hear from advocates for an inclusive film industry, especially how African and Black film festivals in the diaspora help expand the entertainment industry to other parts of the world. Join the conversation each week right here on Our Voices.
In other news, the European Union is being hailed for its attempts to uplift African filmmakers through its annual EU Film Festival, which is facilitated globally and focused on empowering movie makers. The United States and Japan are assisting Ghana in the development of nuclear energy to help the country generate more electricity, enhance policies affecting climate change, and provide revenue. Kenyan prosecutors say they are charging police officers with crimes against humanity over a deadly crackdown on post-election protests in 2017. The charges cover rape, murder, and torture. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce's U.S. Africa Business Center is convening its first annual Africa Digital Innovation Competition for African startups. VOA is working as a media partner with the Africa Business Center on this initiative. The 10 finalists have been decided, and today we highlight our last finalist, Kenya's Felix Macharia, whose startup Kotani Pay created a program that allows small business owners to obtain loans with lower rates, operate a universal basic income for refugees, and covers farmers with weather insurance to cover their damaged crops by connecting the public to global programs.
I'm Felix Macharia, CEO and co-founder at Kotani Pay. I'm 29 years old and I come from Kenya. We were especially attracted to the competition because of its themes. So it was looking to attract SMEs and startups that are building cross-border, interoperable, and cross-domain solutions. our team is very much focused on creating social impact in Africa. And it was nice to be not only recognized, but given a chance to present our work to the global community. CotaniPay is a technology stack that connects blockchain protocols to local payment channels. In essence, what we do is we bring the benefits of blockchain technology to the local populace in Kenya, Ghana, and slowly expanding to other African countries. We have already started seeing some of this impact through the use cases that we have enabled through our technology. In the case of financial inclusion, it's now possible for small businesses on the continent to receive lending from decentralized finance pools that are global in nature. And they receive this lending at lower rates than what they would ideally get in Kenya. Universal basic income programs focused on absolute or extreme poverty communities like refugees. And finally, even climate resilience use cases. We have enabled parametric weather insurance coverage for farmers in Africa. I think we'll want to use this platform to make it very clear that blockchain has benefits that move just beyond speculation. So it's quite possible to use the technology to have a positive impact on people's lives. We'll use this platform to communicate some of the possibilities of the technology for use cases from financial inclusion all the way to climate resilience.
Monday on Africa 54 will reveal the top 3 finalists in the Africa Digital Innovation Competition for African startups, so be sure to join us. Insingizi, a 4-member a cappella music group based in Austria, is currently in the Washington, D.C. region. The group's name is derived from a bird known as the southern ground hornbill, which is known for its bellowing sound. Formed in the 1990s, the group offers uplifting performance filled with harmonious a cappella singing, traditional chants and percussion, and superb choreography. Their music is filled with hope, optimism, and faith. And joining me now are 3 members of Insingizi, Vusa Mkaya, Blessing Como, and Robin Blauzi. Welcome, guys, to Africa 54.
Thank you.
You've surprised me. So let's start with you, Vusa. Give us a little background on this music group.
Insingizi is a music group that was formed in the late 80s in Bulawayo in Zimbabwe. We're an a cappella group, and as you said on this beautiful introduction, we specialize mainly on vocals and choreography. So we've been touring the world since in the mid-90s until today.
Now, Blessing. Yes. That's a good name, Blessing. So tell us where you're planning to perform here in the Washington, D.C. area.
We'll be performing in Alexandria on Sunday, on the 31st.
On the 31st.
Yes.
And so far, tell me how the experience has been, Robin, in Zimbabwe. How do people receive this now? You're in Austria, and you're supposed to be in Zimbabwe, but anyway, how is your music received back in the country and even in Austria?
Our music is more like traditional music, so it's with the people. It's for the people. It is from the roots. So everyone loves this music, accepts it, and it's a journey, just like everyday life. When we sing this music, we bring life, joy to everyone. So again, when we went to Austria and I joined my brothers because I was a junior to them, the music continued to flow and to be something that brings hope to the people each and every day.
Vusa, tell me, out of your performances and the music, which one is the most popular so far? Because I want to hear it at some point.
It's not so easy to choose one because we've been around for some time and we've done a lot of performances. So it won't be fair for other venues and other places to say this is the most iconic one.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of good experiences everywhere we go. And performing in Zimbabwe is always special because, you know, this is where everything started. So to perform in front of our families, in front of our peers and friends, is always special.
So the group is 4, but you're 3. Maybe I make the 4th. Can you sing that one for us? Just a little bit. We want to hear it.
Yeah, we can sing one song. Maybe you can join us.
The one you just started. I'll try.
Latuma, latuma,
Tuma, latuma, latumizu.
Latuma, nkosia.
Tuma, latuma, latumizu.
Isekachi baba.
Isekachi.
Awusefile.
Asambeni siyokhuleka entabeni.
Isekachi baba.
Isekachi.
Awusefile.
Asambeni siyokhuleka entabeni.
Nanawe
siphathiswe
egameni likababa
lele ndodana lomoya oyingcwele.
Oh my goodness, it's so well coordinated.
Thank you.
You should teach me how to sing. So, what informs your choice of music? Is it the environment, the experience, the people you meet? Blessing, what makes the cut and you say, this is what we're going to sing next?
It depends, like people we meet, it depends what we want to offer to the people, but we always offer them good music, roots music, because music is love, music creates peace, we bring peace to the people, yeah.
Hey, Robin, you probably have the last word here. Yeah. So many music groups break all the time. What keeps you together? You've been together 20 years.
Yeah, I think it's like I said, it's the love, it's the brotherhood, togetherness. Like we said, Vosa said before, that where we come from is started from the roots and with our people. So we are just like a family. So we are brotherly love, sisterly love, family love. That's why we are together. And
Vosa, finally, what has your experience taught you in terms of what you would like the audience to take away from this group?
The audience, what we love them to take out from this is the spirit of togetherness, and also the pride in our culture and in our roots. Because if you don't know who you are and where you come from, it won't be easy for you to know where you are going. So what we want the audience to know is the pride, and that we are Africans first before being anything else. So that in the future, when our kids are asked who they are, they must not say, we used to be African. They must say, we are Africans.
So I'm going to say goodbye, but I want you to sing a little something as we get out of the show. So, Blessing. Busa, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Busa, Blessing, and Robin, thank you for joining us today. And that's our show for today. Be sure to watch Africa 54 on our website at voaafrica.com. From all of us here in Washington, have a great weekend. Take it.
Thank you.
Lamlela nampa bafube mbula